Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So excited to be back. We're on the floor this time for a June wrapped month. What I read this month, what did I get to? This month was kind of sad for reading. I didn't get through that many books, but I think it's okay. I traveled a bit this month. Maybe I could have read more while I was traveling, but not every month you're gonna read 30 books. Not every month you're gonna read 5 books. Some months it'd be like me and read. You know what? Well, as we go, you'll find out how many books I read this month. I also DNF'd a couple of books. I don't even know if I would consider it DNF, but I have comfort books that I'm trying to get through. Like books that I really loved when I was a kid that I'm trying to reread again to rekindle my love. Also, news, I got a new Kindle. That's my phone. I got a new Kindle. It's lovely. I got it in pink. I need to take the sticker off. They're really hard to take off. Oh my gosh, I keep ripping it. Oh my gosh, it's ripping. Now I just have to get it off on the inside. I have a white case on a pink Kindle. I'm reading House of Breath and Sky right now, and I've been flying through it ever since I got this new Kindle. I think I chose to upgrade because I really wanted dark mode. Having dark mode has really revolutionized the speed at which I read, and now I read at night a lot more than I used to. Since I've had this for literally 2 nights now, so I don't know why I'm saying all this as if I had it for months. So far, so great with this Kindle. I really like how the case has this little hand strap on it. The one thing, though, that I actually will complain about is that this one shows smudges a bunch more than this original. I don't think I ever noticed smudges on my old Kindle, but this Kindle I feel like gets smudged so much more than the other one. I think that's just a trade-off when you have such a smooth and beautiful screen like this one does. I think if you're on the fence about getting a Kindle, I think you should get it because it revolutionizes the speed at which you read. I'm reading an 800-page book on the Kindle right now. When I tell you, when I got this Kindle yesterday, I literally read like 150 pages of it in one day because it's just not intimidating. Like when you're reading this big fat ass book, you'd be like, damn, I have so much book left. But when you're reading the Kindle, all you see is a percentage. All you see is minutes left in the chapter. Like, oh, it's just 9 minutes left in this chapter. I can do that. That's not even any time at all. Let's get into my wrap up. This is going to be a book wrap up, a movie wrap up, a TV wrap up, just everything that I've been consuming, a wrap up of all of them. So first things first, the first book that I read this month was This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me by Alona Andrews. This book was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was I think the pacing of it was amazing. This follows this girl who I'm realizing through this book that I really love portal fantasy books. I didn't know, but now that I think about it, every book that I really liked was a portal fantasy book. Like when I think about Harry Potter, love Harry Potter. Honestly, when you think about it, it's a portal fantasy. You have a normal boy who gets put into this magical world. Definitely not a portal fantasy now that I think about it, actually. But another book that I really love is The Once and Future Queen by Paula Lafferty, which is about this girl who turns out she's actually Queen Guinevere and they need her back in King Arthur's England. So Merlin comes to her. She's living in present day. They sent her through time to go live in modern times because she was like really sick and it was the only way to heal her or something like that. So now they have to bring her back to like ancient England to fight with King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table for the magic of the realm, because it turns out they lost in our timeline. Arthur and the Round Table, them people they lost, so now magic is destroyed in modern day. So she's trying to go back and bring magic back to the past day. Very important. And the book is so good. I didn't know how much I love portal fantasy until that. Yeah, it's my favorite genre, I'm realizing, but This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me is about a girl who gets transported into her favorite book series, which is a Game of Thrones-esque series. I think one thing that I like about this is Alona Andrews is the pseudonym of a husband and wife writing team. And I think that's why I really liked it, because you could really tell that it was just a perfect mix of the masculine energy that you get when you read a fantasy book that's written by men and the feminine energy when you read a fantasy book that was written by a woman, and they just meld and hold hands together perfectly. Because I feel like if you read the book, you understand what I mean, but sometimes I get annoyed when I'm reading fantasy books written by men because you can just very much tell that they were written by men. Is this gender essentialism? If it is, I'm sorry. But you can really tell when a fantasy book's written by a man, and you can really tell when a fantasy book's written by a woman. And they all have their pros and cons. They each have their pros and cons, right? I love sci-fi written by men. I love sci-fi written by women. I love fantasy written by men, and I love fantasy written by women. But you can definitely tell which is which. And because they're a husband and wife team, it's like the best of both worlds mixed together, having a baby. and I love it. I don't know what to say. The only qualm that I have with it is that I think the main character is a little bit of a Mary Sue in that she is perfect. She never makes any mistakes. She finds a way out of everything. She's a genius. I feel like she just didn't make any mistakes. She just seemed like a very perfect character, and I wasn't the biggest fan of that, personally. I like my characters to be a little bit flawed. Just a personal preference. I still thought it was a very engaging, very fun, very lit read. So yeah, she falls into her favorite unfinished fantasy series. The third book never came out, so she doesn't actually know how every story is going to end, but she knows enough to know that she wants to fix something that happened in the book from happening. And it's interesting because she can't die. When she gets killed in the fantasy world that she's been dropped into and she dies, her body regenerates and she comes back to life. So she technically can't die. I told people on TikTok that I really liked the book, and a lot of people recommended something evil. The Problem with Evil, Long Live Evil. Yeah, a bunch of people recommended Long Live Evil, which is another book that I want to check out. Maybe I'll read it in July if I get to it, but I'll do a July TBR later on. But yeah, it seems like a great recommendation. When I read the synopsis, I was very interested in it. Overall, I think that the book, it's the first book in a trilogy that's going to come out. Hopefully it does come out. I do have a suspicion, which is that I think that the author, the reason why he didn't finish a series is because he's also trapped in the book. Write that down. Write that down in case I'm right. I could be right, you know what I'm saying? Or I could be wrong, but it's okay. Great first book in a series. Amazing first book in a series. Will I be getting book 2? Absolutely. 4 stars out of 5. That's my rating. Banging a gavel. It did take me an embarrassingly long time to finish this book. The plot, there's all these different factions that people are part in, all these different kingdoms, and I felt like I just needed a notepad to jot it all down because it just wasn't clicking with me, like what the overarching, there's like a subplot of the book, which is like the main character and what the main character's doing. But then there's also this like giant plot of not just the book, but like the book inside of the book that she's inside of that has this massive plot that you kind of have to do a lot to keep up with. And sometimes I just checked out, which made whenever you would go back and something important in the plot would have you be like, oh my gosh, who is this again? What is this again? And I had to start like writing notes down. So it kind of took me a bit because I had to reread a bunch of sections because I wasn't applying myself during my first read, and I learned my lesson. I'll do better in book 2. I'm probably going to have to read book 1 again, but I read it on my Kindle, which I don't think I've talked a lot about this on my TikTok, but there are some books that are designed for Kindle and some books that are designed to be read physical copy. I think that this Kingdom Will Not Kill Me has so much dense, meaty plot that not even like the main character's plot, but the overarching plot of the entire book series that she's referring to is so massive. You really just need to be able to flip back and forth through the pages to figure out who the hell said that. What's this person's in this faction? This person's in this training program? What is that? I don't know. I feel like you understand if you read Alchemized. Alchemized was very much like that to me because girl, I don't know what alchemy is. So when I'm reading the book and you're trying to talk about alchemy and you explained it in one sentence on the 3rd page, and then you explained a little bit more in page 30, like I have to keep flipping back and forth between it and keeping a little notepad next to me to keep notes of what's going on. But let's move on to the second book that I read this month, Sky Daddy by Kate Folk. I already did an entire review recap of this. It's already up on my channel if you want to check it out. Then you should. But really love this book. 5 out of 5 stars. Outstanding book. Heard this was her debut novel. Pat yourself on the back, Kate Folk. The book was amazing. I would recommend this to anyone who loves Fleabag or who loves industry. Books about just grimy, low-down women. Sky Daddy she's princess. It's just a great book. This book is about a girl named Linda who just turned 30 and she decides that she wants to settle down. The only issue is that she is only attracted to planes, so she has to deal with all that with all her little friends, and it's just a shit show, but great read. If you try to venture into literary fiction, this isn't exactly literary fiction, but it is a good venture into that, where I think what defines literary fiction is that it's not about nothing else but the character. Literary fiction is character studies, and this is a character study. It's a beautiful character study, and I would recommend it. 5 out of 5 stars. My floor is vibrating. Maybe my neighbor's running their dryer. I hope so. If not, maybe I should seek shelter. Yeah, I think I said this before, but those were my 2 books that I read this month. That I finished, I know, not great. I am currently reading this book. I'm almost halfway done. I'm right now realizing that June is not there's no June 31st. So tomorrow is actually July 1st. So I don't think I'm going to read, oh my gosh, the floor's like vibrating. I don't think I'm going to read 400 pages in a night. I don't think I want to read 400 pages of this book in a night. I think that's just too much. So yeah, this book is probably going to be the first book that I finish in June. What an honor. What an honor. Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. Sarah. She loves a convoluted plot. She loves a convoluted plot. And this plot is so convoluted. I heard that this book was based off of Zootopia, that the whole Crescent City world was based off of Zootopia, and it just made me like it so much more. Like, when I was thinking about Crescent City 1 as I was reading it, I was like, this is so weird. Why would all them people be in the same city together? I said it was giving The Whole House is Mad, that picture of all them people fighting in that house, and it really is, because why the hell... Let me read you all the people that are in this universe together. You got shifters, people who shift from animal to human. You have witches, you have angels, you have fae, you have elementals, you have sprites, you have river spirits, you have mare, you have water beasts, you have nymphs, you have kelpies, you have Nog, you have reapers, wraiths, vampires, drakai, dragons, necromancers, everybody. And then on each one of these it says, and many more. How many people can live in one city? How many people can live in one city in peace? I don't know how they do it. If you don't know Crescent City, it's about this girl named Bryce, and she lives in a city called Crescent City, which is this mythical city on this planet called Midgard. On Midgard, very, very small planet. There's only 2 continents on Midgard, Valbara and Pangeria. She lives on one of them. I don't remember which one off the dome right now. Yeah, I think she lives on Pangeria. I don't fucking know. There's all these mythical people. Her best friend and all of her friends get torn to shreds one night, and she has to join an investigation with an angel to figure out who done it. So it's literally Zootopia. Isn't Zootopia who done it? It's literally Zootopia, but from Sarah's imagination, with every mythical creature you could ever think of, every supernatural creature to ever walk the earth is in this book. And you just have to deal with it. I'm like, what are we talking about right now? They all have powers, and somehow they're all sexy. Everybody's sexy. How are you even sexy? What defines you being hot if everybody's hot? Can someone answer that for me? Because that's the thing about this book. Everybody's hot. Mike is hot. Celestina's hot. It's hot. Bryce is hot. Rune is hot. Deck is hot. Flynn is... Who's not hot? Do they kill you in Crescent City if you're not hot? Do they cold people if you're not hot? Are they doing like clavicular ass, like fucking Campbell tilt measuring when you turn 5? And if you're not bad, if your Campbell tilt or your fucking maxillofacial fold is too long, they execute you? It's not making sense how every single person is hot. Also, what's not making sense is, so in this book, they make the drop, which is how they access the full potential of their magical powers, and once you make the drop, you become immortal. How is Crescent City not overpopulated? How is Midgard not overpopulated? If these people just live forever, as it seems, like everyone in the book is 200 years old, even older, thousands of years old, why is there no overpopulation? It feels like Midgard is a very new planet. Apparently, we're diving into the lore of this in this book, but apparently it was just made. Apparently they all crawled over from a different dimension. People are saying that Crescent City and Akatar are connected, like they are in the same world. So I think maybe some of the, I don't know. I don't freaking know. This is the hypothesis, but it's a very funny and strange book. And I'm enjoying it. It has its moments where I'm just like, this is fucking ridiculous. This is ridiculous. But I've been enjoying it. And that's all you can really ask with the book, right? Is to just enjoy it. Now let's get into the books that I'm not counting as actual reads. I'm still gonna bring them up. First, we have Crescent City 1, House of Earth and Blood. I basically read this book again to read this one. I finished this book in November of last year. It took me a month to read this book, or two or three weeks to read this book, and it was around Halloween time. So it's been a while since I read this book, and I needed some information because I started to read this book and I was like, I don't even know who Hunt is. I didn't even really remember that her name was Bryce, to be honest with you. So I needed a refresher course. So I skimmed this book again, basically just opened it up and was like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, yes. Okay, and I watched a host of recaps on this. If you make recaps on books, pat yourself on the back. Take yourself out to ice cream, because you are doing the entire book reading community such a big favor by your work. Just know that you're valued and you're loved because you are a soldier. You just do so much for the community and you don't even know it. We wouldn't be anywhere without you. If I had to read this entire book again, just to read Crescent City 2, Crescent City 2 would have never got read. So thank you for your contributions to society. It means the world to us. So I'm gonna count this as 0.25 of a book that I read. This is my life. I could even count this as a whole book that I read, but I won't do it because I know people like to tussle. But I could if I wanted to. Who could stop me? No one. Another book that I think that I read, or that I'm like saying is like a DNF. Whenever I like don't want to read the book that I'm currently reading because I feel like I'm too tired, or I feel like I'm not going to get enough from it, or anything like that, what I do is I pick up a book that I read when I was a kid and absolutely love. So this is Lux by Jennifer L. Armentrout. A lot of people know Jennifer L. Armentrout because of Blood and Gold or whatever her new book series is from. I know Jennifer L. Armentrout from the Lux series. This series, bro, this book is actually 2 books bound together. This is literally Twilight with aliens. Almost to a point where we should start talking about plagiarism, because this is down to a T, Twilight with aliens. It's about this girl, forgot her name. Rachel? What's her name? Maddie? I don't even remember her name. Kat. It's about this girl, Kat, who moves from Florida to this new town. She lives next to these really hot, this house is full of really hot people her own age. And she's, oh my gosh, all these people are living in this house. Yeah, they all bad. What's up? There's a girl in the house who's her age. She's 17. So they hang out together. And her brother is so hot. She's like, bro, what's going on? Turns out they're fucking aliens. And it's the dad in this. The dad who lives next door is Carlisle. There's Esme. D is literally Alice down to a T, down to their high-pitched voices, and Damon is Edward. And then they have cousins who are literally, you know, the front that the Cullens put to go to high school, where it's like, you have the Cullens, there's Edward Cullen and Alice Cullen, who are siblings, and then you have Rosalie and Jasper Hale, who are like also siblings. And like, that's their like story that they tell people for why they're interdating and living in the same house, because they're all like foster siblings, cousins who live together. Dead ass exactly what they do in this book. I'm rereading this because I think it was magical for me when I was a kid. It was so good. I made everyone in my life read this book. I had my 8th grade English teacher borrowed this series from me and read all the books in 2 weeks and just brought them back to me. And she was like, great recommendation, chef's kiss. It was flawless. And it was just flawless. The book series is flawless. What can I say besides reading it again? Oh my gosh, guys. When I was a kid, I used to love House of Anubis. It was my favorite TV show ever. If you don't know House of Anubis, honestly, don't watch it. You missed its time. This is like when people say, oh, I want to start watching Teen Wolf. And then they watch, oh my God, this is really bad. Yeah, you had to be there. You're not 10 anymore. So yeah, the quality difference is going to be different now that you're 30 years old trying to watch a show you should have watched when you were 14. Like, obviously it's not going to hit the same. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, but it's not going to hit the same for sure. But those are the books that I got into this month. Now let's get into what else I've been consuming this month. Obviously, You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love by Olivia Rodrigo. Been listening to this album dead ass on repeat this entire month. Great album. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. There's no skip. Thinking about it, there's no skips. I love coming home from the gym, turning on You Seem So Sad for a Girl So in Love on my TV, and just cooking it and enjoying my dinner. That's become my new habit, what I do almost every day. Such a great album. Olivia, I know you're done watching this, but pat yourself on the back. Honestly, no one really talks about the vulnerability that it takes to be an author and write your shit down and share it, but she's getting real vulnerable in these songs, and I was just like, she's so young and so vulnerable, and she really just pours herself out in what she does, and I'm just so grateful for it. We're just all better because of it. Don't know what else to say. I've also been watching The Pit. I can't get through season 2. I'm sorry. Season 1 also took me a while to get through the first episode. I think it's hard for me to get into the swing of shows like The Pit. I don't know why, but it took me a long time to get through episode 1 of The Pit, or to get through episode 3 of The Pit. And at some point I had to just start it over and watch from episode 1. I don't know if I like The Pit. I don't really understand why it has such a dedicated fan base. It's not that I don't think it's a good show. I'm just like, I wouldn't write home about it, is what I mean to say. I just wouldn't write home about it. And I think maybe a lot of the reason why it's getting so much acclaim and general love from audiences is because it's filling a gap in a market where fans have been begging for medical dramas, begging for more than 8 episodes, begging for a more network type feel. We're like, you're watching a TV show nowadays. Why are we filming at location on a TV show? We don't need to film at location. What happened to just a studio? And we're just in a studio, we're just filming in a studio, and it's over. I don't understand that. And I think that's why people like Abbott Elementary, people like The Pit, because they're just doing what we asked them, just filming in a studio, and it feels like network TV. And that's what I think is missing from other shows. I think it's just gotten to that point. It's like Tumblr. If Tumblr was a TV show set in a hospital, it would be The Pit. Every single thing has to have some sort of lesson, some sort of intervention, some sort of a nurse gets punched in the face. Yeah, nurses get punched in the face 30 times a day in America. It's a real problem. Contact your senator at 812-412-3372. It's literally what it's like the entire show. What is going on here? I don't know, but people love it, so who am I to judge? I'll let y'all have it. I mean, I'm watching it too. Another thing that I've been loving is Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's just been making me laugh this month. And I think I've been thinking to myself, what would Larry David do quite often? And it's been making me laugh. It's been improving my life. What can I say? But yeah, that's my June wrap up. Stay tuned for my July goals. Everything that I want to do in July, everything. Oh, also, I've had a goal to make a YouTube channel for a few months now, and I'm finally doing it. And that's part of my June wrap. Waking up one day and deciding to do something that you want to do. And it's been really nice, and it's been very lovely, and I've been enjoying doing it. So that's part of my June wrapped as well. Starting a YouTube channel. It's been lovely. But stay tuned for my July TBR, my July what I want to do, everything like that. But thank you so much for watching this video, and welcome to my channel. If you liked it, please make sure that you like and subscribe. These are a joy to make, and I want to keep making them. So bye.